Okay, so we're going to have a look at a few more tips today. Now, I may have covered a few bits in previous videos. I'm trying to avoid covering those as much as possible again, but we're going to be just looking at a few bits that will help you progress through the game. That was quite fitting, you just saw those bits pop up. If we go into here first. Right, there's a thing called daily operations, and let's just go somewhere out of the capital, because what will happen is you're going to get these outlaws jumping around, shooting up the place, and generally being a pain in the ass. So we're going to Narrow Island. There we go. Yes, we're going to be looking at every day you'll get a daily operation, which is here. Now obviously we've actually done it. We're here. Now it doesn't matter that we're up here or down here, we just needed to be in the top 16. I just did a few other things which put me up there. So, and because we've completed this, you normally would get Argents, but we're down to just this and this at the end of the week. Once you get to a certain point, you'll just get this, and you've only got to get in or over 100% here. If you get over 100%, you get that one and that one. And then it goes into whether you're in the top 10, top 20 for the Argents, the two sets of Argents. And the Argents will vary. Beginning of the week it's about 100, 200 Argents, and then it goes up to sort of 900 at the end of the week. And you can win those, and there's little tips and tricks to getting ahead in that. I'm being attacked. I don't know why I ended up there. Let's go over to a clear spot here. Right. So, as I was saying, so if you do these during the day, you'll be entered into it. You can opt out of it within you've got about 15 minutes to get out of the missions if you don't want to do the missions, which is a good thing if you're just popping on to check to have a quick mission. You don't want to enter this. Now, I've said this before, that you come into the mission screen here. If you go to Alien here, click that. Always take that mission if you can, because that will pay out a lot more points. You'll get a lot more points for that. If you get a invasion or a group kind of thing in here, you can get some big points which will push you right up the scale. And this is a good time to use God mode as well. Not on these ones, but on any of these ones. If you get one of those pops up there, go for it, because it will, like I say, push you up the scale and a chance to win those points. Now, a little trick with this operation is when this starts off each week, everybody jumps on it and tries to sort of get the points and that. If you leave it a couple of days, because you've got more than, it's not just over a week, it's, I don't know how it works, it's basically you'll get up to there, then you'll get sort of 3, 4, 5 days of just getting this. If you leave it a couple of days, then start doing them, what you'll find is you'll find it a lot easier to actually get positioned here. If you start the day it starts, everybody's on it, all fighting out for the points, and it's not as easy. So first couple of days, just avoid doing the operation, simple as that, and then start doing it. And like I say, at the end of the week, it's a piece of cake. I mean, you can win with literally, I mean, you see here, look at these, I mean, there's a 385, a 255, but everything else is 100. Beginning of the week, that'll be 600,000-700,000 or whatever. So like I say, give it a couple of days, then start doing these, and you can get ranked quite easily if you're struggling with it, that is. If it doesn't bother you, then don't worry about it. Okay, now we're going to be looking at missions, when you do the missions. So if we go in here, and if we go to missions here, these will do. Now when you enter one of these, you do that and you join it, if you click on that, it'll bring up the difficulties. Now once you've completed that, it'll automatically jump to that one. So every time you just click that, it'll go to the, once you've done that one, it'll jump to that one, and so on. Let me pick another one because that's not a great example. There's an example here. So as you can see, we've done the 51 million here, we've done 70 million, or heading on to that. Now if you do those daily things and any of these missions come up, drop it back a bit. The reason I say that is you click it, you might have to click it a couple of times, sometimes it's a bit sticky there, wait till it greys out. Now when you join, that'll be the 51, not the 70. The reason I say drop back, you'll lose a few points doing that, but you'll complete this a lot quicker. And when you're doing those missions, quite often it's about time. If you pick that one and you spend 20-30 minutes trying to get through it, or even 15 minutes, that's a long time. If you drop it back, you could probably shoot through that in 2 or 3 minutes, and for the sake of 1,000 or so points, it's really not much. It's better to drop back. Don't drop back too far. If you go too low, then you'll struggle with it. The thing you've got to remember is sometimes it says kill enemies or pick up health, and if you go too low with them, you won't be able to pick up health because you'll just one-shot everything. So, but just drop it back a bit when you're doing the daily operations, and that will help you to get, like I say, up in the rankings. Now the other thing with these is when you do missions with these things, if you ever use a god in these because it's tough like these, say you do that one in god, next time obviously it's going to be that high. Now what you've got to watch is, I don't know if I can show you one, yeah, here. So the next one I'm going to do is this one at 92. Now once I've done 92, it's going to jump to the next sheet, which will be 100 or whatever. If you use a god mode and it throws you from this sheet to the next sheet, if you've ever got to do that mode normally, you're going to struggle because you can't go back. You can go back on this sheet, but as far as I know, you can't go back further on these sheets. Once you finish this sheet, that's it. These are gone. You have to carry on with the next sheet. So if you use a god and start racing up through some of these, you're going to get yourself in all sorts of trouble later on because you won't be able to complete them. If you've got no god mode, you're going to get stuck. So always bear that in mind. Obviously take them up, but once you get up here, just bear in mind when you do that one next, or attempt to do that, you're going to jump to the next level, and if you use a god or something to push yourself through any of these missions at the end, you're going to get yourself stuck. You won't be able to do anything. So just a little tip there, so you don't go too far ahead with them. And like I said, it's basically when you're using that god mode. I mean, if you can do it without god, then there's no problem. But like I say, I would drop back the difficulty, say to 22 or 31 or whatever, when you're doing the daily, and that will help you be able to do the mission really quickly, and it will put you up there somewhere, and you'll get all these points and argents and things that you want. But again, pick these missions. Like I said, they'll give you the biggest points. Occasionally there'll be one you just don't want to do. The trouble is you can wait and they will change eventually, but sometimes you can be waiting a long time for this one to change to another mission. Well, they've added more difficulties to the missions on the PC. They have anyway. Not sure what they're doing on the PS4. We've actually moved to Mechanoids now as well. You'll see here in the invasions we have got the Mechanoid invasion. Now the Mechanoids is actually, that was the first avatar I ever beat, was the Mechanoids. Originally it was basically the easiest avatar. It was pretty damn straightforward, easy to do. So when you get the Mechanoids, that's probably going to be the easiest. Like I said, I don't have the PS4. I don't think they've jumped onto that. I think they're still on Phytonoids. I don't know whether they're going to. I doubt they're moving. I don't think they're moving at the same time. I think they've got to do a whole week. He says a whole 4 weeks or 8 weeks or something ridiculous. Whatever it is, 8 weeks. That's right. And then they'll be on to obviously the Mechanoids. You can see we got that one. That one I'm going to have to do in a group because you've got to like defend or stop 3 groups of things coming, and you can't be in 3 places at once. So I will get round to recording that one at some point. So anyway, as I was saying, they've added difficulties. You'll see here. Now we're not on the red one anymore, because the red one is now 116 million, and I'm still at 103, and that's 116, and when we get up to here, it's 153. I think that's the same. No, that's 211 million. That's 211, and when we get up to here, it's going to be crazy. No, it's 191. It's not bad. This one will be. We'll look at that one last. 135. That's not too bad. That's 211. Ready for it? This is always the hardest one. 254 million. Now this mission, Ophelia, is undoubtedly the hardest mission in the whole game, basically. That one is an absolute pig to get through. You basically, when you go into that one, you've got to go God. If you're not a God, you've got to go as a healer. If you go just as a regular player, you're not helping anybody. You can't do any damage really, and yeah, you know, everybody's just carrying you. So when you go into that, be either ready to use a support class or be able to use a God, and hopefully your God will last long enough to get through it. So another helpful tip is you get your quests. Now you get, let's check it here. This one here, this is your daily directives. Now these will stack up to 7, I believe, and your not province, your bastion one, that will stack to 7 as well, I believe. These ones here, bastion. So you've got bastion and you've got the directives. Don't worry about the Flavius one at the moment. Now those 2 will stack up to 7. What you can do is, if you don't play every single day and do these every single day, you can, on this screen, you can decline. You can like request your directives, look at them over here, and if you don't like them, you can go back to that and you can decline. Now if you've got them stacked, like I say, up to 7, you will be able to just skip one and move on and request another set. Now a little tip here is, what you're going to find is a lot of the invasion stuff and the group missions, the really hard stuff, tends to drop on the weekend. So sort of Saturday, Sunday time, you're going to get all the hardest missions piling up. The ones that way you might, you know, if you're starting out, you might not be able to complete a lot of them, or you might have trouble getting groups to be able to do them all. If you're stacked, just save them up and just do the ones like the weekday stuff and then skip the weekend ones. And that way you'll be able to do all the missions quite easily. And we've got a week one here. Even I do it. I get to the weekends and then I just get all the really hard ones. I just like, oh, stuff that, and I just skip it. So that's a little tip as well. Save them up, and your weekend ones will always be the kind of invasion, avatar-y kind of stuff. It's always that way. And like I say, you can always skip those and just do the sort of weekday stuff. So where do you get the best gear in the game? Well, it's pretty much here. If you take out of the equation distortions and the avatar, because obviously the avatars are usually quite big missions that can last for quite a few hours, just generally ranking up and doing stuff solo as well. I mean, you're going to be looking at these missions here to get gear. You get most of your modifiers on these ones. You get the brooch on this one, you get the ring, is it? Bracelet, should I say, on that one. That one gives you a ring, but to be honest, that will give you gear, and that will give you gear, but the actually best ones for it are going to be these top 4 ones. They are probably the hardest, of course. Aside from that one, this one could be a real pain in the ass. With this one, if you ever do this one, avoid the bears. Don't aggro the bears. If you aggro the bears, you're probably dead. This one here will give you like weaponries. It'll only give you blue ones, but it'll still be pretty good if you're starting out. And it'll give you the necklace or artifact. Artifact? No, it's the artifact. So yeah, I mean, one of the best places is obviously Operation Isabella. If you're not getting good gear from these, you won't get it all the time, but if you're not getting good gear, that's usually, you're probably OP for that particular level. Once you get near the sort of here to this one, once you're running out of that, you've probably reached the maximum you're going to get, and you're just going to have to basically grind your way up until you get to the next level here. Now what you can do is you can get somebody to invite you from inside, but the trouble with that is if you're too weak and you get pulled through, yes, you're going to get the modifiers that'll put your prestige up, but any items you might not be able to use that you get because of the generation on them. So anything with they are generation 7. If somebody came in who started out with me through this one, they'll pick up generation 7s, and they're not going to be able to use it until they get X amount of prestige. I don't know what it is exactly, whether it's 90 million or something like that, I think, for generation 7, I can't remember. So yes, you can get through, and yes, it will put up your prestige. The only problem with that is it's going to put your prestige up, but it's not going to raise your might, and you'll have high prestige, but you won't be very strong. And you're going to find that once you get high prestige, things tend to want to kill you or target you in the game, so just bear that in mind. But no, these are the places to get gear. If you want to get the prestige up, you've got to be looking at these missions. When you start right at the beginning, you're obviously going to be picking up stuff from regions and these sort of places, but it'll all be green stuff. You won't really get much decent stuff until you actually get into those ones. You will pick a few bits up in invasions, and you get the odd drop. If you ever see a pink orb, get it. It's a chest, a pink chest or purple chest, and you can get victor's medals from that. You can get a lot of credits as well from them. You'll see the blue ones quite often, and you'll see the normal green chests, which just give you a few bits and pieces. But if you see a pink one, make sure you pick that up, because like I say, you can get, I think it's like you can get 500 victor's medals or something out of it. And you get gear from these as well from the PvP, but to be honest, I haven't done them for so long. I couldn't tell you what you really get from them anymore, because nobody really plays it anymore on the PC. There's just not enough people. You know, you kind of have to arrange the PvP matches these days. Regions, you'll pick bits up. Like I say, that's more starting out, but regions, you're there to collect credits and other bits like knowledge, that sort of thing. And they're just generally a fun thing to do, especially in groups. You can do the test areas as well. If you can get through them, you'll get ranked on these, and you can actually win stuff. You get rare items, epic items. The only trouble with the test areas, they are difficult. The Pantheon one is easier than this one. I think this Pantheon, am I right? Yeah. This one's not too bad to do. This one, not easy. So there you go. Like I say, if you want gear, go to these ones. Or any of these ones will give you the best gear.